Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is at the end of this video is for you guys to learn how to get your first client. Now, whether you are a teenager, you're a student, or you're someone with no experience, I will be going through all the different tools and all of the places where you can find your potential client when it comes to working online. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I am the virtual ate, and make sure to hit subscribe right there so you get my tips every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. So I divided this video into two parts. The first one is I'm going to talk about the tools that you need before you even start finding your clients. And the next one is going to be all about where to find your clients. Now, when it comes to tools, one of the first things that you need to have before you even go into it is an offer. It's basically, who do you work for and what do you want to do? So to do that, you can check out my video right here on how to find your skills and niche when it comes to working online. This is so you already know who you're looking for, who your potential client could be. You could look at different things where, what is something that you like to do? What is a skill that you're going to bring online? And who do you want to work for? Let's say that the people you look up to a lot are speakers or TED Talk speakers, or it could be podcasters or YouTubers. That's why the first thing that you really need to have is already your offer. What are you willing to offer to them? What is something that you want to bring to their business to help them grow? Second thing is, of course, you need your resume and your application letter. Now, I already did videos on that as well that you guys can check out on my channel, but it's basically making sure that you are prepared to put your best foot forward in making sure that you're the one that they're going to hire. Next one, and this is super important, is you need to have an application tracker, or basically a way that you can track who you've contacted and when to follow up with them and when to kind of give up on them. So a good rule of thumb is that you want to follow up with potential clients at least twice before maybe dropping the ball. It's better to get a no than to have no reply at all, because then you know that that just wasn't for them and they're done. You get to move on to the next client. Now I have templates for a resume, for an application letter, an application tracker. You guys can check it all out below in the description so you can grab and have what you need to start before we go on to the where. So now that you have your tools, hopefully, the next thing that you guys want to know is, of course, where do you find these clients? Where are these people who I can work with? Where are these people who will allow me to work from home or work from anywhere that I want? The first place that I highly recommend is Facebook groups. Now, if you've been on my channel before, you've seen me recommend Facebook groups a lot, but it is a really good resource to just find a client who's already probably looking for you. Because on Facebook groups, especially if it's a niche group, that means it's a group especially for a certain niche. For example, it could be a group for romance writers. It could be a group for public speakers. It could be a group for podcasters. A lot of them will be posting, hey, anyone who can refer me to a social media manager, anyone who can refer me to a virtual assistant. So a lot of them are already asking for referrals on that platform. So the best thing for you to do is add yourself, request on these different groups to be added so you can watch out for these. And you can also just search on the search bar the words hire or virtual assistant or whatever the skill that you've chosen, because chances are there are people who are already looking exactly for your skill. And the people that you've already chosen to work with, then it's easier for you to also contact them like, hey, I saw your post. These are the services that I provide. And this is a big no-no for you, by the way, is don't post your own services. Wait for someone to ask, wait for someone to say, hey, looking for a recommendation, or anyone here who's a graphic artist, blah, blah, blah. Don't post it yourself. Don't spam at all. I really, really highly recommend against that. So as much as possible, just wait for someone to ask that they're going to hiring or asking for a recommendation. Just add yourselves into these groups and make sure to kind of monitor them like, hey, this person asked for this, and then again, track it. Use the application tracker so you know when to follow up with a person on your message or the application. Next is your network. Even if you're a teen, even if you're a student, your parents probably have a network of people that you can already start maybe getting employed from. For me, for example, when I started working online when I was 15 years old, one of the ways that I've been able to get clients was through my mom, because my mom had friends who own a magazine company who then hired me as a junior writer. So never discount being able to have your own network, and that they might be looking for exactly your skill. So posting something as like, hey, asking for referrals, or hey, I'm going to start offering this as a service. Does anyone need this? Or you can even ask, if you already kind of have a good target client, if you have like one of your parents' friends or one of your friends is your target client, you want to work with them, you can hop on a call with them like, hey, if I offer this as a service, what would be the things that you guys would need? What are the things that would be really good for a graphic artist to have or social media manager to have, whatever the skill it is, because then you're getting to know what they will actually need from you. That's just good practice. And then them themselves, because they see what you're doing, they're going to refer more people to you. Like, hey, oh, you're doing this? Oh, I have this friend, Joe. He's actually looking for exactly your skill. You never know. A lot of my own clients inside of the Work Anywhere Challenge got their first start from recommendations from their own network of people, because you never know, Joe, who's your mom's friend, is actually looking for a video editor and you're a video editor. And when you tell your mom, like, hey mom, do you know anyone who's looking for a video editor? Of course your mom's gonna say, yeah, Joe just told me the other day that he was looking for a video editor. So you never really know. So make sure to tap into your network, tap into who you already know, which then brings me to the third point. If you had old employers, or you had teachers, or you had people who hired you as an aide or an assistant at one point, then you can ask them also for referrals. You can also ask them if they need a quick work done or a quick task done, because they know what it's like to work with you. They know what it's like having you on their team. So they're more likely to say yes. They're more likely to, even if they're not hiring themselves, they might also give you a referral to someone else that they know inside of their industry or their business. So that's another place that you can really ask, is someone you worked with before, or an old boss, or even an old colleague who started their own business. You can ask them like, hey, I'm looking for this type of work. Do you know anyone, or are you hiring? Now we're going to move on to more cold leads. Now cold leads mean these are people that you don't really know, that you're contacting out of the blue and you want to be hired from them. Earlier, the ones that we covered a little bit, even Facebook groups is also a warm lead, because there's a people who see you on Facebook. If you're posting on their groups a lot, then they kind of know you. They kind of know what you're doing. So they see you already, especially your network and your old boss. Those are kind of hot or warm leads. Those are people who already know you. Cold lead, now we're moving on to that part of this. Cold lead is mostly for people who, again, doesn't have any idea who you are, doesn't have any connection with you whatsoever, whether it's a friend or a friend of friend. These are people that, again, no idea who you are. Now for that, it goes to cold email. That's number 4. Cold email is where you send someone an application letter even before they're hiring. There's someone that you already know would be a good client for you, that you'll be able to give them a good service, and then you are just contacting like, hey, if you're ever in need of a graphic artist, if you're ever in need of a writer, if you're ever in need of a social media manager, I'm your person. I'm your girl, or I'm your guy. So you are already putting your foot forward before they even think about like, hey, I need to hire for this. So the way that you do cold email is you go to Google and you search for the top 10 list, probably just scroll, top 10 list of anything for your niche. For example, let's say your niche is travel vloggers. Let's say your niche is women coaches. Let's say that's your niche, right? So you search that into Google and you get like a list of like 10 to 50 people that you can contact, grab their email address, look through their Facebook, look through their LinkedIn, look at who they are, and then start contacting them on that. Like, hey, I saw your profile on blah, blah, blah the other day, and I think that you need a social media manager. I think you need the services that I'm offering. Here is my contact details. Here are my portfolio. This is what I've done in the past. Or if you're a student, you can say, I'm actually looking to start learning this as a skill. Would you consider hiring me? So you're kind of sending them an email without them knowing who you are. So you're sending them a cold email from a list that you got from Google. You stalk them a little bit. You got to know them a little bit. So you're not fully like just throwing anything out there. It's really better to customize what you are sending out to potential employees. If you send a very templated email, they'll know, they'll sniff it from afar. So it's better to send them a customized email based on what you research from them, based on what you know about. The next place that you can get a potential client is through conferences and events. Whether that's live, a Facebook Live, something that's an online event, or an in-person event, you can still do this. You can look at the list of speakers. You can look at the list of people who are attending and see who are the people, who among these people need what you're offering as a skill. You want to look like, hey, this speaker, it looks like they need someone to do something really well with their branding, and their branding actually is not consistent. They need to do it better. I can be that person for them. So you want to see what they need. You want to see and network also. That's a very important part, is you want to network network with different people during these events. Even if it's an online event, you can still chat with the people who are there. You can, when you're commenting back and forth, you're like, hey, love meeting you, or hey, saw you on this comment. Hey, saw you on the live event also commenting with me. I really love your content. And then you can go for it. It's just making connections, just making that first, like, hey, notice me, or hey, I'm here. Hey, you're just talking about yourself. You're just talking about your services without even having to offer it. Conferences and events is a great place to really network with people, because most of the time other people are on there, they're also looking to connect. So it's really easy to just come to someone like, hey, this is what I do. What do you do? And you're not really pushing yourself. You're like, hey, what do you do? Oh, this is what I do. Or this is what I do. What do you do? So it's just kind of a back and forth of, like, again, seeing, just putting like feelers, just putting out seeds of like, hey, this is what I do. Do you know anyone? Or do you need this kind of skill that I have? Because for me, myself, I've gotten clients that way, where I was just open during a conference. I was just smiling with people. I was shaking hands. I was saying hi. And I got a really good connections out of that. So don't discount conferences and events, because a lot of the time you will meet your right client there. Another place that you can get your first client is actually Reddit. If you have no idea what Reddit is, it's basically just a really big forum board with a lot of different categories that you can pick from. And a lot of those, there's going to be different categories for the niche that you want to target for. So again, you want to go into those boards, you want to look at them like, hey, some of them will have job postings, some of them will just have people who are looking for a quick gig to be done. There's some of them are just looking for a task to be done. So you want to look at that. You want to look at those possibilities of your niches, of what are they looking for, because you're also kind of verifying that your skill is actually something that they need. So go on Reddit, try to find job boards, try to find your niche, the group that your niche is in, and start kind of just communicating, start kind of commenting, not pushing yourself. It's really scammy when you try to push yourself on what you do. It's still better to come up with a warm approach of like, hey, this is what I do. What do you do? Next, of course, is different job boards. So the one that I really recommend over and over again is onlinejobs.ph. Really quick to create a profile, to get yourself verified, and to start applying. Again, use the application tracker so you know who to follow up with and who to just kind of ignore. Of course, the spaces like Fiverr and Upwork. And I also already did a video of where to find online jobs that has a lot of different job boards so you guys can check out. But basically, these are people who are already looking for you. They're paying for a job ad to be able to find the right person. So it's usually a little bit easier to contact them because you know that they're hiring, but it is another good way to just find your first client. Next way to find your first client, it needs a little bit of a confidence boost, needs a little bit of a good branding. So it's not something that right away you can jump into, but it's actually becoming a guest on people's podcast shows, becoming a guest on people's YouTube channels, basically collaborating with other people, because then you are talking to their audience of like, this is what I do. This is what I like doing. This is what I like talking about. So when you become a guest on someone's show, when you get interviewed by someone else for their own content, you're reaching more of their audience. You're just kind of, again, spreading your seeds a little bit more. You're kind of making a little like, hey, this is what I do. I'm not really pushing. This is just what I offer. You're not, again, pushing. You're not telling them like, you should hire me. This is why you should hire me. You're just telling them about yourself, because naturally someone will connect with you. Someone will kind of like feel like, oh, this could be the person I'm looking for. So becoming a guest on someone's show really gives you a good advantage when it comes to finding your first client. Next is, you need also boost of confidence for this, is doing live streams. It's going live on Instagram, going live on Facebook, going live on YouTube, and just telling the world of what you do. Giving them a little bit of a sneak peek of your behind the scenes of your work, giving them a little bit of, hey, this is all my tips, these are all my tricks, these are how I do my skill, this is how I do my thing, kind of like what I do on my YouTube, where I give you guys tips and tricks on how to work from home. So you can do the same thing for yourself through a Facebook live stream or Instagram live stream or a YouTube live stream. You're again pushing yourself without really pushing that much. You're just telling them this is what you do, this is what you like to talk about. So doing live streams is a great way to get engagement. It's a great way to also have your live stream get shared by other people. So again, you are able to reach your target audience to get your first client. Then if you want to take it up a notch, then you can host your own event. You can host your first event if you've never hosted an event before. And if you have no idea what this is, it's basically you're inviting a couple of speakers, a couple of guests, and a couple of people who will be willing to watch it, and you're basically organizing the whole thing. Why this gives you an advantage to getting your first client, because you're showing them what you can do. You're showing them your skills, and also a lot of the speakers might be looking for your skill set, might be looking already for your capabilities and your knowledge. So it's kind of like a lot of speakers are always looking for events to speak at. A lot of speakers are looking for places where they can be guests at. So when you do the reverse, so earlier we were talking about being a guest on someone's show. If you invite someone else, maybe even a potential client, to become a guest on your show, that's another really good way that you can get your first client. Now, a really good way to get your first client is to actually work for free. So actually offer your services for free. If you are a student, if you are someone who's a teenager, if you are someone who have no experience at all, this is a really good and important tip for you, is to just start working for free. Post on Facebook, post on Instagram, post on LinkedIn, post anywhere that you can post, or ask other people to share that post that's saying that this is something that I'm offering. I'm doing it for free because I'm building up my portfolio or I'm building up my experience. So you know how a lot of people say you need to have experience before you get experience. You need to be hired for a certain experience. That's how you beat this, is you actually work for someone for free. Now, the biggest takeaway from this is that when you work for someone for free and you do a really good job, chances are they're going to hire you, or they're at least going to refer you to someone that they know. So never discount working for free. Never say no to working for free if you're just starting out. Of course, later on, once you have more experience, once you have more clout with other people, then you need to charge them. But if you're just starting out, if you have no experience at all, if you're getting started on this journey of working online, then working for free has reasons why it works. And I've seen a lot of my students as well and my clients as well doing this and being able to get their first client faster. Because again, if you do a good enough job, then that person might either hire you or refer you to someone that they know. Again, it's super important that you track all of your applications. Use this sheet, use the template that I'm about to give you guys to be able to track all of them, because you want to follow up. You want to see if they said yes or no. You want to see if they could be someone who could refer someone else to you if they said no. Now make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, so I know that I can make more of these, that this is a kind of content you guys want. Make sure to comment below if you have any tips on how to find your first client, or if you have any questions. Now again, if you haven't yet, please subscribe right there to get my tips every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. And of course, make sure to check out these other 2 videos that I've prepared for you, especially if you want to keep moving forward with your goal to working anywhere. Now I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember that small steps matters. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!